Hello, everyone. The pre-show where we talk about what we're gonna do on the show. It's just a bunch of comic quick hits. So many news. Man, I had 30 or 40 bookmarks, and I got like 8 of them. So many. I
Oh,
mean,
good job whittling it down. Yeah.
Yeah, solicit some news hits. We do have a bit of news about Diamond and GameStop, which I think is interesting. She-Hulk and food news. Then it's comic reviews. Comics. I don't know, man. I don't know. Comics were just okay this week. I was like, I didn't read anything like bad, but
Yeah,
I didn't read anything that like, oh wow, you have to read this. It's all
it was like a bunch of like solid Bs,
yeah,
like A minus range. Like nothing really like knocked my socks off this week, but a very good week overall, I'd say. Yeah, I went to go see Bullet Train, which was a lot of fun.
Okay.
We'll talk about it. Yeah, and I also went to go see Dragon Ball Superhero, which is a nerdy thing, but not the type of nerdy thing we talk about.
I have no idea what that even is.
You're a little too old, I guess, to really catch on to Dragon Ball Z when it came out. Dragon Ball Z was like the definitive show in a lot of ways for people who grew up in my generation.
Yeah, Andy checking in. What's up, dude?
It was the gateway to anime and to a whole genre of nerd culture, Yeah. The weeb, a specific kind of nerd,
Yeah, but no other news. Again, it's such a big week, it's hard to know what actually to grab onto, but I think we got some good stuff. We'll see. And then comics. Again. So let's do it. Let's get into it. Sick of waiting around.
Mm-hmm.
Wish Adam would have showed up this week.
Somebody wake up Hicks.
Get up, Hicks.
Fucking Hicks.
Fucking Hicks sleeping in the drops. Cool as the other side of the pillow.
If I don't know if there's really a rivalry between like the Alien franchise and the Predator franchise, but the Alien franchise is getting its ass kicked right now by the Predator franchise.
Right. Andy's a Geek fan. Greetings, Geek. Welcome back. Another episode of this Geek and Comics Hour Geek Comic Book Shit Talk Show.
Shit Talk Show.
It's Gomer and Taylor time. Yeah, we got some news, got some reviews, but first, I didn't do anything this week, literally. I've been watching Breaking Bad. You heard of the show Breaking Bad?
It's often called the best show of the generation, yeah.
It's pretty good. It's really good. I mean, it's Sopranos just with regular people, but it's good. It's chaos drama.
It definitely owes a lot to Sopranos. And those are both very high quality shows, but I feel like there's different elements of both.
Oh, for sure.
Well, the crux of both of them is like the psychological turmoil of being a crime boss, but
Yeah.
There's enough different about them that I wanted, I don't feel the need to compare them.
But it just, it's one of those shows,
Yeah.
You just miss them. You miss them.
Yeah, it's one of those shows that's good to go back to.
Yeah, now that Better Call Saul is done, I think I can just get all of it in, so I'll have like season 4. It's good. It's cool. It's fun. Taylor, what did you do? You watched the movie Bullet Train, like an action comedy heist.
Bullet Train is an action comedy. If you ever saw like Smokin' Aces,
oh yeah,
or like something like that, it kind of has like that energy, where like it's a lot of like over the top, very stylized action. They do that very well. There's also like this like Rube Goldberg machine of like conspiracy to it, like all these people like crossing paths. It's like, oh, it's less of a coincidence than it seems, and like it was a lot of fun. I thought everybody did a really good job. Brad Pitt did good as the
always good.
Yeah, kind of. I don't want to say like stoner because he wasn't actually a stoner, but the kind of like the laid back like mob related guy. But like Aaron Taylor Johnson and Brian Tyree Henry were really fun. It's like these like assassin brothers, but
cool.
Yeah, it was really good, top to finish. I would definitely recommend that.
Then you saw some DBZZ Hero Deer.
Oh no, we're on to Dragon Ball Super now.
Oh my bad, it's not Z, no Z.
Not Z anymore. There's Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super, and then there's Dragon Ball GT, but no one gives a shit about that. That was bad.
Wow.
Okay. But anyway, I will say though, this is something that I think if you did not see the show, like you, Gomer, I would not recommend going to see it. You wouldn't get a lot out of it. Okay. The action's, I think, pretty fun to follow. There's like some fun jokes they throw in there, but this one is definitely for people who are fans of the franchise. And as approaching it from that, it's great. There's all sorts of like winks and nods to the audiences. They're seeing to like recapture. It's not like just shamelessly like exploiting nostalgia, but it definitely like your nostalgia enhances a lot of the moments.
Oh, okay.
I would.
Well, there
like,
you go, DB. Super.
Yeah, I hope that people like Andy who like Dragon Ball Z might get something out of it. I would definitely
This is
wholeheartedly.
like in theaters. It's not.
It
Like
is, yeah.
Roll thing.
It is in theaters.
Wow.
They usually release the anime movies into theaters, like they do like My Hero Academia and Jujutsu Kaisen and stuff like that. Well, yeah, I mean, anime is
the big
not,
deal.
Yeah, it's not just like some subset of fans anymore. It's big.
It's a big deal, dude. Like manga. Yeah. We sound like old men. Let's do the news.
Back in my day, we had Voltron.
We were happy, damn it. We were happy with Voltron. Limited in Minnesota. Yeah, I'm sure it's limited everywhere, dude. Theaters fucking suck right now anyway. But anyway, yeah, a lot of news. Really, it's just a bunch of comic quick hits, and we're going to get through all those and then on to the reviews. But first, Diamond versus GameStop. News is breaking that Diamond, the distributor of comics, collectibles, action figures, blah, 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 they had a deal with GameStop. And Diamond is suing them for $2.8 million for items that it claims GameStop ordered and then tried to cancel.
Okay.
So there you go. And it's kind of funny because both of these companies have been shit as of
I mean, this is like one of those like there's no heroes here type of conflicts.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. I mean, GameStop had 400 like closed stores, back just a couple of years ago. Diamond has lost Marvel exclusivity, DC exclusivity. They've lost it all. They're really leaning hard into their, action figure and collectibles lines. But
both of these are business models that have been really hurt in the digital age, especially GameStop, I would say.
Yeah. So it's kind of like these two people struggling for the same life preserver, in a store.
But they're also like both assholes kind of struggling for the same life preserver. We don't want to lay it on too thick. I mean, I don't like.
It's like we're beating them when they're down, but they're beating each other when the other one's down. So
these are
these are just rooting for.
These are two businesses where, like, we in particular have a lot of interaction with these businesses, and most of the memorable moments are when they're doing something bad, like Diamond, like shorting orders, and GameStop, like being real stingy with trade-ins. All
exactly, dude. They're like the Comcast of box store distribution. Anyway,
maybe not that bad, but yeah, it's hard for me to feel empathy for either side of this conflict.
I doubt we hear any more on that. That'll get settled. It'll be settled, and we'll never hear another word about it. But yeah, it's just funny to me. I thought it was a funny story. SOS has been teased. Another little quick hit. This is an X-Men thing that has been teased for 2023. SOS. That's all we got. This is literally all we got. We'll know more next week.
Okay. Like we don't even know like the creative team or anything?
We have nothing. Yeah, literally rooting for neither. Me too, Andy. Yeah. There's no good guys there. So
yeah.
No, I mean, well, I guess we'll have to see how Axe plays out. I'm hoping it's Apocalypse. We got an APOC angle.
That'd be kind of cool. I mean, I'm trying to like run through like, are there any like X teams that have like S in the title and try to like see if that stands for anything? But I don't know. But it'd be cool to get back to Apocalypse. It's been a minute since Ten of Swords.
Been a minute. Kid Omega's dead. Maybe it's Omega. I mean, maybe there's something there.
Dude, Kid Omega gets killed like every fucking issue.
I know, but it's like he's really dead now. Like they can't find his backup or some shit now. So.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah, we'll have more on SOS next week because they're going to announce it next week. And then just a shit ton of one-shots. Marvel first, Invincible Iron Man coming back, redoing it. Christopher Cantwell's been on it right now. It's been a really weird sort of spacey, I don't know.
He's been dealing with like Korvac and stuff. Yeah,
I hate Korvac so much.
Korvac
sucks.
Korvac is an idea that I think gets too much love from the writers.
Yeah, for sure. But it's going to be Gary Duggan and Juan for Gary.
Okay, well that's definitely piqued my interest then.
Yeah.
Gary Duggan's doing good stuff over in the X corner.
Oh, definitely. So it's going to end with Iron Man number 750, which is a milestone issue, of course. 60-year history of Iron Man. He's going to dig up some classic armors, confronting old wounds to overcome a devastating defeat at the hands of a Marvel villain who's been making big waves throughout the Marvel universe recently. That's really all we know right now. From what I hear, there's going to be like a hit put out on Tony Stark, and I don't know. I got faith in the creative team, so
Yeah, it's a good creative team. I like reading Iron Man when he's in a good, good series. Like Invincible Iron Man was the name of Matt Fraction's series. That was
it was good.
That was probably the last time Iron Man was really, really good.
Yeah, it was good. Well, I don't know. He was all right. Well, no.
I mean, not to say that there haven't been some good runs since. Like Kieran Gillen did some decent stuff with the character for a while, but I don't know. But yeah, Gary Dugan. Iron Man is one of those characters where when they launch a new book, like I'm on the fence about whether or not I'm going to try it. But this is a good creative team, so I think I'll give it a few issues.
Yeah, I'm definitely on board, 100%. Another one I'm on. New Fantastic Four creative team.
Oh yeah, I was really excited to see this.
Yeah, Ryan North, Ivan Coella.
I mean, every time Ryan North releases a new book, I'm all over his nuts.
Yeah, no, for sure. He's great. He did Squirrel Girl, which is probably his most notable work.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. To launch the new era Fantastic Four, North and Cabela have landed the team, or at least a member or two, in a world of trouble. Something's gone terribly wrong in New York, sending the Thing and his wife Alicia traveling across America to escape it. But when they stop in a small town for the night, they wake up the morning before they arrived, and they find themselves caught in a time loop that's been going on since before they were born. So I guess the first issue, possibly the first arc, is going to be the Thing and Alicia do Groundhog Day.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so too, Andy. Andy is psyched for Ryan North being on the Fantastic Four as well.
North, I think, is a good fit for this book because he knows how to write like these interpersonal relationships that are wholesome. Like he wrote that Power Pack book, and so he really captured a family dynamic with this, and I think that's right up the FF's alley.
Yeah. So in this Reckoning War that's just wrapping up, that's going to be the end of Slott's run on the book. It's like saving the multiverse, huge cosmic epic. North sort of going the other direction, self-contained stories.
Yeah.
He described it as 60s Star Trek, where they go down to a planet, find a weird thing, fix the weird thing, and then move on.
I love that idea.
Yeah, I think that's going to be an interesting take to, I don't know, a bunch of characters that it's got to be hard for writers to come up with something to fucking do.
Yeah.
This team, they've been around for 80 years or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, they are Marvel's first family and all that.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Alex Ross cover, obviously beautiful.
Yeah.
Alex Ross cover.
He's doing that new coloring style that he's going with there.
Yeah, he's going with that he went for with his creator-owned book, kind of creator-owned book. He's doing it himself. But there's also going to be a Frank Miller cover. It's an ugly cover. It's disgusting. I hate it. But his first
it is very Frank Miller.
Yeah, but his first work at Marvel in over 30 years. So.
Oh, wow! Yeah, I guess that's right. Huh.
Yeah. So the first issue is Ben Grimm and Alicia. Issue 2 is going to focus on Reed and Sue. Issue 3 pivots to Johnny, but then don't worry, the series will bring them all back together before long. So
that's good.
Yeah, I think that's a fun way to do it, man.
Fantastic Four, like you can have these big like cosmic adventures, and that's absolutely appropriate for them. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like it's nice to kind of get the change up because they also work really well, arguably better, when you're focusing on like the more personal stories because they are a family.
Yeah, definitely. All right, that's all from Marvel. They had some other stuff like I don't know. I don't even want to talk about it. They had a bunch of weird shit. We'll talk about it as it comes out. Moving on to DC, there is a new Batman book.
How many are there now?
Like 9 or 8 or 9 dozen. Batman and Joker team up in Deadly Duo by Mark Silvestri. So this is a big deal.
Oh, is he soloing the book?
Yes.
Okay.
So, I mean, he's one of the legendary creators in comics.
Oh, yeah. Unimpeachable as an artist. I don't think I've ever heard of him writing a book before, though.
Well, he's definitely written.
I'm sure he has, but I just can't think of anything.
Yeah. But a lot of variant covers for this. Basically, Harley is in danger, and Joker asks for help from Batman, and of course he gets it. There you go. That's it. That's the story. That's the story.
That's one of those things where, like, you hear it and it's like, Has no one ever had like a Joker Batman team up before? It seems odd that no one's done that before, like in the
I'm sure they
minis.
have.
I like that cover a lot. I will say.
Yeah, I like that cover too. I think that's a cover to issue, or yeah, an issue 2 cover.
Hmm.
But we did get some interior, some of that beautiful Silvestri line work. Just love it so much. We only got a few pages, but
Yeah.
it looks nice. It looks really nice. That is coming out in November. There's going to be all kinds of freaking signed ratio variants.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll be a big spec book.
Oh, it's going to be huge shit. Okay. All right. Now we get on.
That's
to
a maybe for me.
Yeah, I don't know. I really, really like Mark Silvestri's work, but
Yeah.
it's just another Batman story, and him teaming up with the Joker seems like okay, that might be all right. But then
Well,
I'm like, well, is it really though?
That's one of those things where, like, I'm not saying it will be, but it's one of those things that could easily just turn out to be a gimmick.
Yeah, and I'm just not sure about it, dude. I'm
Yeah.
way on the fence, but I mean, Silvestri's work is so beautiful.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you were just getting this book for the art, you'd probably still, have a good time. But
Yeah,
I don't know. We'll see.
yeah. Again, we'll see. Moving on, Jeff Johns getting a bunch of work. JSA is coming back. All these titles spinning out of Flashpoint Beyond. DC has announced 3 titles from Jeff Johns: a new one-shot called The New Golden Age #1, a limited series called Stargirl: The Lost Children, and a new JSA ongoing. We knew it was coming. I kind of wish it would not have been Jeff Johns, but
He's done good work with the JSA before.
I know.
And honestly, the JSA probably isn't going to get a lot of circulation unless they attach like a big name to it like that.
Yeah.
It's just one of those books that like seems to have well, it's never going to be like big like the Justice League is big. That being said, I fucking love the JSA.
Me too, dude. Me too. Great already cover for one of the books there. I'm not even sure what that's the cover of. But the new Golden Age will feature art by Steve Lieber, Jerry Ordway, Diego Orlategu. Michael Jane is doing covers. Frank's doing a cover. Todd Nauk, Michael Allred. That goes on sale November 8th, and it's launching a new group of titles. Like the entire timeline of the DC universe is at risk, and somehow characters Mime and Marionette are connected. That sounds so dumb to me. This is just the new Golden Age #1. Moving on, Stargirl: The Lost Children, a 6-issue series. Teenage heroes from the Golden Age are disappearing, as discovered by Stargirl and Red Arrow. These heroes are apparently being targeted by the disturbingly named Childminder. That sounds so stupid. Yeah, he did. He created Stargirl, so I'm okay with him, doing a Stargirl for sure. That's his baby, But I would much rather see someone else on a JSA book. And thanks for stopping by, Leroy. Definitely check out his show later tonight on this Facebook channel. We'll talk about that later for sure. But where's the hell is the JSA? All right, the new Golden Age Part 1 will see the long-lost JSA hero enter the contemporary DCU with a dire warning about a mysterious enemy invading the team's history, but it's seemingly too late to do anything about it, or is it? A new JSA. So that's going to be November 22nd. So there you go. A triple hit from Jeff Johns. I'm definitely on that JSA book. I can give a shit about everything else.
Yeah, definitely on JSA. I'm on the fence about the other two. Maybe not. That'll be probably an in-store decision for me, but yeah. I am glad to see the JSA making a bit of a comeback. I was really thrilled to see them go up Dark Crisis. So they're a team that I feel like they don't show up very often these days, but when they do, it's always a big crowd.
Yeah, it's always a bunch of fucking fun, man, for sure. All right, still over at DC, Wildstorm, still trying to make Jim Lee's baby, all grown up. But we're getting a triple hit of Wildstorm and a shit ton of variant covers just celebrating, the 30th anniversary. So there's going to be a special Matthew Rosenberg with art by Campbell and Hitch. There's a whole bunch of people on this 30th anniversary special. Rosenberg, Williamson, Choi, J. Scott Campbell, Brett Booth. That's going to be $8, 96 pages, prestige one shot with a shit ton of variant covers, just celebrating 25 years. Most likely an anthology, sort of story, but whatever. It's 100 pages, so it's kind of a good deal. And then yeah, a bunch of variant covers. I got some favorites up here. You know, Apollo Midnighter, fucking beautiful. I don't even know who that fucker is, but it's gorgeous. And these are like these 30th anniversary, like going back to the 90s sort of covers.
Hey, I mean, any opportunity to spoof Superman's mullet is an
Yeah,
opportunity we're
and
taking.
that's definitely what they're doing there. And then we got a awesome Jen Bartel throwback 90s Wonder Woman cover, just gorgeous. And then yeah, more of this Wildstorm shit. Wildcats is coming back from Rosenberg and Segovia. I was never a fan of Wildcats either. Waller versus Wildstorm is a DC Black Label, which is, I mean, honestly, basically Suicide Squad versus Wildstorm, which is
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to associate anything with Waller in it other than being like a Suicide Squad book, but
yeah, man.
that makes sense. It's not necessarily a bad thing.
No, I'm not saying any of these are bad. In general, I don't like the Wildstorm shit. I don't like the Wildcat. I don't like any of that stuff. Yeah,
I
do
feel
have some love for
completely
Grifter.
neutral for the Wildstorm stuff. It's
I
just,
do
you
have
know,
some-
it just it exists, you know.
Yeah, Tom chiming in about Grifter. Thanks for stopping by, Tom. Yes, I do kind of appreciate Grifter. He's become almost too much Deadpool recently. Like
Grifter, they have integrated into like the Gotham City scene pretty
yeah,
well.
and it was fun, but he has become almost, you know, too much Deadpool for me. But and then Grifter's getting like a holiday special. That's fucking stupid. That's
That is
$10.
very Deadpool, I gotta say.
Yeah, that's $10, 80 pages, prestige one shot. All these come out in November. It's going to be a whole bunch of people writing this. It's basically they do this every Christmas. DC puts out a holiday book, so this is going to be their holiday book this year. They're tying it into the big 30th anniversary of the fucking Wildstorm. I was never.
I mean, that's probably a smart approach. I mean, there's a lot of people who might be picking up the holiday book who this is their introduction to Wildstorm stuff. So, yeah.
And I'm good with that. And if people are into that, good for them. Awesome. I'll probably end up reading some of it. That, like you said, the Waller versus Wildstorm, that might actually be fun. You know, it's just a Black Label book. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Finally, over at over at DC, the previews for Batman Robin #1 came out, and the last page of the preview. This is a book by Mark Waid and Mahmoud Asrar. Jordi Belair is doing colors on it, so you knew it was going to be special. You knew it was going to be a big deal, and the preview shows why. Alfred is coming back. We don't know why. We don't know how. We don't know if that's actually Alfred or if it's some sort of monster or a robot or.
Well, the way they're having like Alfred be the one who's surprised to see Bruce, is this like Bruce in some sort of like alternate timeline or alternate dimension or something?
Or maybe he's dreaming.
I don't fucking know. You know that they're inevitably going to bring Alfred back, but
yes,
is this like the real bringing Alfred back? I don't know.
Ringer. That would definitely be the thing that would get Batman versus Robin, though. You know, that would definitely be something that would split them down the middle.
Oh yeah, that could be like the source of that conflict, right? Like, what if like Damien is like, "Yes, I got Alfred back," and then Bruce is like, "No, it's not the real Alfred," and they like fight over
Clayface dressed up as Alfred or something.
Maybe not something like that, but you know, something.
Yeah, it might be that. All right, moving on.
Maybe we just called it. Who knows?
Moving on to the smaller press. Once Upon a Time at the End of the World, new Boom Studios book by Jason Aaron. A little bit interesting here. Messio and Mezzi have never met anyone like each other, and they'll need all the help they can get to survive a planet ravaged by environmental catastrophe. It's an epic trilogy. Each issue overflowing with 30 story pages spans a lifetime as the dark mysteries of a ruined world and their own stark differences tear at the threads holding these two together. The fun part about this is, yeah, Jason Aaron's writing it, but there's 3 different artists for each issue. Alexander Tefenki, Leila Del Duca, and Nick Dragato all getting in on the fun here. So yeah, that's interesting to me. Jason Aaron is moving into more creative own stuff, moving away from Image, going over and doing a Boom book. I like that. I like, you know, he can do whatever the fuck he wants.
Yeah, he can just name his project at this point, but
yeah, so good for him to give Boom some love and Boom to give him the love. And
I mean, this could be a lot of fun. I usually don't pick up these types of things in single issues, but I'll definitely be trade watching for something like this if I hear it's
and
good.
it'll be quick too. You know, it's only a 3-issue, 30 page.
Well,
so
yeah, you're right. I mean, the trade could be out by summer. Who knows?
Yeah, that 100-page trade will be out really quick. So Yeah, we're definitely going to be looking out for that one. Another one we got our eyes on, The Ones by Bendis and Jacob Edgar. The Brian Michael Bendis is doing a brand new book on Jinx World, which is now over at Dark Horse, with basically a newcomer, Jacob Edgar. The Ones is a story about every hero who is ever told that they were the one of their particular story, a singular warrior destined to save everything from destruction. But it turns out the multiverse only has one true version of the one, and these various would-be saviors are forced to band together to stop him.
That is an interesting premise.
It is dude. That's Bendis. You know, it feels like Bendis really getting back into some sort of groove here, where he's thinking outside of a normal box and going to be doing stuff together.
I'm just worried about falling into the same trap I always fall into with Bendis, where that's a fun premise, and maybe for an issue or two it's fun, but then it does not take long for his dialogue ticks to just get on my nerves.
No, for sure. He has a big problem with writing dialogue. He always has. It used to be fun.
Well, just he hasn't changed it up. I mean, we were overexposed to it, you know?
Exactly.
He was writing every fucking book at Marvel for 10 years. And
true, dude.
He's an old dog who doesn't necessarily have any new tricks when it comes to writing character interaction, you know? It's just, we are overexposed, you know?
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to this, though. I'm always looking forward to a Bendis book, if only for me to shit on it. You know what I mean?
You do love to shit on Bendis.
I do love to shit on Bendis, but when he's good, he's some of the best shit I've ever read.
Oh yeah, good Bendis is still
oh man.
He's on the short list for best runs ever for a lot of really good properties like Daredevil and Avengers and
Avengers for sure.
Yeah,
he's top 5 Avengers creator easily for me, man, easily. Yeah, for me to poop on, Tom. Anyway, going back, that's about it from the comics, man. There were so many books. There's a new Star Trek book coming. There's new My Little Pony. There's so many things that I didn't touch on this show, but we will talk about all that, throughout the course of the next few months when those books come out. But we're ending the news with She-Hulk. She-Hulk Attorney at Law, episode 1, A Normal Amount of Rage. We got her origin, which was different from the comics. Who cares? Yeah, we got.
Only marginally, right? It was still a blood transfusion, and honestly, I think that this makes more sense because, that always was so stupid in the comics. Oh no, we need to get a blood transfusion. Who should we get? This guy with radioactive blood? Okay, he's the only man.
Well, I get
that in the comics, they did a whole thing where it can only be you, but that always struck me as what the fuck did you think was going to happen? You know?
Well, Hulk's out in the MCU. Everybody knows that Banner is Hulk, so it's no, we can't do a transfusion. That's not the way it would work,
Yeah.
Because they know who he is. They know he's got shit going on.
Yeah, I did figure
everybody in the chat's enjoying the first episode.
Yeah, we should definitely start singing the praises here because this was really, really fun. Yeah. We got our training montage out of the way. We got our fourth wall breaks. We established her character. We had a lot of fun interaction with Bruce. This is probably the biggest screen time that Bruce Banner has gotten in a pretty long time here.
Oh, since his own movie, if he did even have one, Ruffalo didn't even have it.
Ruffalo did not, no.
But I really like this. It was promised, right? It was promoted like Ally McBeal in the MCU, and that's exactly what we were given. Okay, you might not like Ally McBeal, and that's fine. You don't have to like Ally McBeal. And just because you're a fan of the MCU, even if it's most of the MCU, that does not mean that you have to be a fan of everything. And it's really pissed me off. The MCU is becoming like Star Wars, dude. It's becoming really toxic. CGI wasn't bad as all the hate it was getting online before it came out. I thought it was pretty good, actually.
It looked a lot better here than it did in that trailer, for sure.
Yeah, it looked a lot better in the show than it did in the trailer. But again, I'm not expecting Endgame level CGI. I'm not expecting them to spend that kind of money on just a TV show.
Honestly, the amount they do spend on these TV shows... Yeah, the amount they spend on these TV shows is honestly more than we should already expect,
Exactly, dude.
But yeah,
all the gripes about this are...
Yeah, back to the point you were making, though, all these shitty little gatekeepers Like, you're right. It is starting to get into, like, the Star Wars kind of scene where, like,
yes,
they're just being such obnoxious pieces of shit about this.
yeah.
Like, I saw a guy, like, making a comment on, like, the Outright Geekery page who was just, like, you know, like, a blood transfusion? That's stupid. And, you know, it's just like...
It's like, why does it matter? That's not really a key to her character, her getting that blood transfusion. It's the source of her power.
And she can control herself right away. She-Hulk has always been able to... She has never been the, like, Jekyll and Hyde thing that Bruce Banner is.
Recently in the Aaron run, she was
that was a very different thing that they were doing. That was breaking from, like, decades of what they had been doing.
Yeah,
so, you know, if that's the thing that's getting you mad, you're not even being a good gatekeeper because you're fucking complaining about shit being how it already fucking is in the comics.
Wall break. She was doing that way before Deadpool was doing that.
Yeah, she revolutionized that shit. And, like, well,
it's weird to me. People griping about
breaking away from those assholes. I just want to, like, this is a good show. This is just damn fun. And She-Hulk, like, one of the strengths of the character is that she is one of the few superheroes who is arguably as or more interesting in her civilian life than she is as a superhero.
Yeah,
you know?
Because the superhero lawyer angle is such a fun angle. The Charles Soule, Javier Pulido run of She-Hulk. Really,
that was great. That was the last, like, really great She-Hulk run, I thought.
Yeah, well, and Slott's epic run, for sure.
Slott's was good, too, yeah.
Yeah, but, like, my favorite comic, my favorite Marvel comic is Secret Wars 2015. Super action-packed, huge payoff, great event, just an awesome 8 issue story, right? But that doesn't mean that I won't read or enjoy other Marvel comics after that for not and they're not that epic, they're not that full of action. It's just weird to me that okay, Endgame happened, now everything still has to live up to the hype that the end. Dude, no, that's unrealistic. You are setting yourself up to die on a hill. It's lonely. It's going to be lonely.
Yeah, I mean, I really love
everything, but come on.
I think all these Disney Plus shows have been doing a really good job, like, finding their own hook, right?
Yes.
Like, Ms. Marvel was, like, a show about a young girl, like, growing up to fit in. It was like a coming-of-age story, and they did a really good job with that. This is a lawyer show. They told us in the first few seconds of the show that it was a lawyer show.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I really like the approach they took. Again, it's Ally McBeal with superheroes, and I think that's a really unique way of telling stories. And comics used to not be at this point, right? It used to be back in the day, comics only told one kind of story, your action story, right? And then what happened? Stan Lee came in, was given the reins. Fantastic Four. Story about action-y superheroes, but more really about family. Spider-Man. Yeah, a guy swinging around doing superhero shit, but really it was about a nerdy kid who felt like he did not belong in where he was.
That's a good point to bring up, that, like, really since the Silver Age, the melodrama is, at least in part, what we're here for. You know, superheroes are so much more interesting when they have these hurdles they have to get over in their personal life.
Exactly. And the comics grew from that idea, those early ideas, and have become just this diverse landscape of different ways to tell stories and to tell different kinds of stories. And now that the MCU has finally reached this point, they're able to do that. And people are bitching about it because, that show isn't for me. Well, then don't fucking watch it, dude.
I mean, people bitch about anything, but if you're looking for,
exactly, Andy,
our take, I guess.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, Andy. But
yeah,
I thought it was damn good. I wholeheartedly recommend it.
Yeah, I had a really good time with it. I actually, the one thing that really pissed me off, that it was only like a 40-minute episode. I wanted a lot more.
Yeah, I mean, well, I want to see next week because they kind of left us like, what the hell is Titania doing there? What was that all about? I'm sure they'll pick up with that like immediately next week. So, I want to wait to see that before I judge the splitting up of the narrative too much,
Oh, yeah, and I'm okay with that. I just wish I would have had more story. It feels like...
And hey, yeah, that's your biggest complaint, is that, like, you wish there was more of it. That's a pretty, good sign.
Yeah, they jam-packed that first episode.
But we haven't even talked about the thing that's the source of all the memes.
Oh yeah, I wasn't going to go there, but yeah, Captain America, we have confirmed that he did get laid by Star-Lord's grandma. That's what I'm going with. That's canon now, y'all.
Is that a you thing, or has somebody else been like suggesting that?
Well, it's the same actress who played Star-Lord's mom. So everyone is assuming that that was Star-Lord's grandma, and that
I never knew that.
we'll see what happens there. I doubt they ever talk about that again. But yeah, I mean,
Oh my God, Captain America is Star Lord's granddad.
that would be and maybe not though anymore because
No, they're definitely not doing that. But
how does that timeline work? Because then Steve,
I don't fucking know.
Time. Anyway, yeah, don't time travel. Hurts my head. Anyway, I don't know. I'm going to seem like a really weird nerd. I found it almost kind of weird that everyone was talking about Steve Rogers' virginity in the way that they were. I get it is a funny joke.
It was a fun joke, but it was kind of weird that was like the thing that people took away from this episode.
Yeah, dude, and even everybody was doing that, dude, and I was like, why does it matter? I think it sucks for a lot of these mouth breathers that they can't relate to Captain America anymore. But
yeah, fuck them.
Fuck them. I don't know. I think my biggest takeaway from the show, the thing that surprised me more than anything, was the emotional reaction I had to learning more about Banner and Stark's relationship. That they were kind of like science bros. That's the meme, the science bros meme, and they had it like that in the Avengers movies. But this really added a layer to that I was not prepared to see in this show at all, and I really loved it.
Yeah, that they handled it really well. Credit to Mark Ruffalo for acting it really well, because whenever you saw their initials on the bar, they were talking about it together, he has that moment of pause where or when he's talking about Natasha, and he's taking a moment to remember his lost friends.
Yeah, I really like that. I wasn't expecting that real emotional, sort of thing there, but again, it's okay to not like this show. But don't bitch about it out of turn. Don't ruin everybody else's fun.
Let people like things, even if you don't. Just let people like things.
And I'm not the kind of person who's going to say, "Oh, you're, an ist if you don't like this show, or if you do like this show." You know what I mean? I don't give a fuck what your political stances are or anything like that. But honestly,
if you give
whatever fucking reason, if you don't dig it, then it just isn't for you.
Yeah, I mean, if you give specific reasons for why you don't like the show, and those reasons suck, I'll argue with them about it. But
if you
I liked it a lot, definitely recommend it.
Yeah, you can just say, man, you know what? I get it, but it's just not for me.
Yeah,
just leave it at that, and that's okay.
Everyone's out here for attention and validation, man. It's not enough for them to just walk away from it and just move on with their lives. They gotta make a fucking production out of it.
I read half a dozen comics every month that aren't for me, but I can still appreciate them for what they are.
Yeah.
And even if I didn't like this show, I would still appreciate it for what it was, because it said it was going to be Alec McBeal in the MCU, and that's exactly what it was. Alec McBeal in the MCU.
This is getting us exactly what was advertised,
Exactly. All right, we got a double dose of gross.
Yummy.
The first one, Annie Ann's has, and it's kind of weird because they're intertwined. Annie Ann's has a new beer made out of pretzels. It's an Oktoberfest lager dubbed "Is Butter a Carb?" The new beer is brewed not only with imported German hops and malts, but also with fresh baked soft pretzels. You can get that.
So they're chunks of pretzel floating in the beer?
No, there better not be.
That'd be bad, yeah.
That's disgusting.
Okay, so I'm still not a big fan of this, but I will say beer and pretzel do famously go together. So this is not the worst combination I've ever heard.
Yeah, exactly. Tom chiming in about She-Hulk. What's funny is they will continue to watch the show regardless of them shitting on it.
People love to hate watch,
Yeah, they'll hate watch the fuck out of it. Give Disney every fucking penny of their subscription, and then
that'll show them.
Yeah, that'll show them. And then at episode 3, just so they don't sound like total douchebags, they'll say, "Oh well, I did like this part of whatever," and then whatever. Tom also, Andy, pretzel beer is actually kind of good. Okay, Andy, awesome. We have firsthand knowledge. Andy enjoys pretzel beer. You can get this in Philly, August 18th at the Oktoberfest party in Philadelphia. Annie Ann's food truck. I don't know. They're selling it at Evil Genius. I don't know. Google that shit if you want it. The next
by the standards of the stuff you share with us, this isn't that bad.
It's still pretty bad. And I say that one only to say this one. Miller High Life introduces ice cream that tastes like a dive bar. They've partnered with Tipsy Scoop, which makes alcohol-infused ice cream. The product combines beer, peanut swirl, tobacco smoke flavor.
Oh, God, why?
Caramel and dark chocolate. So yeah,
you were off to a bad start when you said it's going to taste like a dive bar.
That's what they're going.
Dive bars are all well and good, but I don't want to like lick the banister or anything.
Like, you know? Yeah, right. Imagine like Waffle House ice cream. Oh, it sells like waffles and meth at 3 a.m. So a 6-pack will cost you $36.
Good God, I have to pay extra for this shit.
Yeah. And that's on sale now at tipsyscoop.com, or you can go to Goldbelly, and in New York they have Barler locations that you can go and drink that shit or eat that shit, I guess. It does have 5% alcohol. Ice cream sounds like a bad idea because of the smoke taste. Yeah, it does. Beer ice cream in and of itself sounds fucking disgusting.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't want to try that on its own, but it definitely went like all the way off the deep end here when it's infusing like tobacco smoke flavor. That doesn't sound good in any context.
Yeah, so there you go. There's your Miller High Life popsicles.
The Auntie Anne's pretzel beer was definitely the better of the two this week.
Oh yeah, but that Miller High Life smoky ice cream, yeah, that's one of the worst ones that we've had, dude. We had ketchup popsicles on here too. Yeah, you got to be wasted to enjoy that. Yeah, and then you spend $36. You got to be wasted to spend $36 on like 6 of them.
Yeah, being wasted is an integral part of every step of this process.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's do top 3. No moment this. No Transformers stuff. Maybe next week. Man, yeah, there were so many books that I could mention. Nightwing, Shirtless Bear Fighter 2, Dark Spaces Wildfire, Death to the Mutants was okay. Daredevil was good. Hulk was okay. X-Men was good. I mean, these are just a lot of good books. But I'm going to go number 3, again, Miss Marvel and Moon Knight, number 1. Jody Hauser, Ibrahim Robertson. Dude, this is basically just a team-up book. All right, this superhero team-up with Kamala Khan, and it's fucking wonderful. The art in this was fantastic. Look,
this was a lot of fun.
Had a fucking great time with this.
It is kind of fun, like reading like Kamala like trying to sound cool in front of Moon Knight. Heard you like fist. Oh no, why did I say that?
But everybody was still in character. Everybody's teaming up. It was really fun. Just a fun, shitty, dumb, stupid adventure book. Superhero team up is awesome. Marvel team up's awesome, and that's what this is. Just with Kamala Khan. And I had a great time.
They're running a lot of these team up books now. They're doing that one. I mentioned this last week, but they're. Do you mean Death of the Mutants?
Or... Yeah, he's talking about Death of the Mutants.
Gotcha. Yeah, that was one pretty good. That's definitely an honorable. I guess it's my turn, right?
Yeah, go ahead. You want to talk about Death of the Mutants?
That was an honorable mention for me. Death of the Mutants was an honorable mention. This was actually, the Eternals side of things. It was basically another issue of Kieran Gillen's Eternals run, for all intents and purposes. But
for sure.
Also honorable mention for your Miss Marvel and Moon Knight. It is a lot of fun. I like Kamala as a character. It's cool to see her interact with all these people. The Flash was...
go ahead. I was going to talk about Death of the Mutants a little bit, but yeah, Flash was okay for what it was. But this is an event, Axe feels, at least early on in the event, where all of this shit is happening in the tie-ins. Nothing is happening in the main books.
This did seem like pretty integral stuff.
It seemed like you needed to read this. X-Men this week seemed like you really needed to read it.
It looks like, Icarus and Gilgamesh are going to try to spin this whole Celestial Judgment Day thing into... Yeah, man, that cat showed you.
He hates me. He hates my guts.
Well, he and I have that in common. But no, at the end of the book, you get Icarus and Gilgamesh are basically... It seems like they're going to spin the whole Celestial Judgment thing into... this is our chance to fuck over the Eternals, because fuck them, right?
It's wild. It's really political in a way, and not like political, like real-world politics. There's like fictional politicking going on, like on the ground politicking. And it could be boring. It is kind of boring. I'll admit it. It is kind of boring, but I'm still into it, dude. This event has been fun so far.
I mean,
More.
Kieran Gillen doing politics is one of our favorite X books right now. So yeah, he definitely has like a talent for it.
Yeah.
But yeah. Also honorable mention for the Flash. It's
It is good.
yeah. It was a fun concept where like they're going to like do all these like multiverse stories where like they have like a Mad Max universe and a Silver Age universe and a universe where Barry's Batman.
Yeah.
But
it's wild, dude.
yeah,
It's just big dumb fun.
Yeah, and it's a lot of fun. I guess I'll do a last honorable mention for Avengers 1 million BC. I was a little underwhelmed by this. The biggest thing for me is that like all this build up about like is Phoenix Thor's mom, and like you find out that it's a nothing burger. I mean, she was his midwife, and she like infused him with some Phoenix power, which isn't nothing. I mean, that is a big deal, but like for her to go around acting like I'm your mom too, no, you're not. What the fuck are you talking about?
So bad. I wonder if Aaron took heat. I wonder if he took heat.
If he like if he swerved away from what he was originally going to do. I don't know.
Feels that way, dude.
For now, I'm going to take this at face value, and it is. I mean, it was a fun book in a lot of ways. Watching like
Horny Odin is my favorite.
Horny Odin getting dunked on, and like Kev Walker's art was really good.
Yeah.
But for all the build up about like Thor's connection to the Phoenix Force, it felt a little underwhelming. Yeah.
I was like, wait, what?
It amounted to basically nothing. Yeah.
Yeah, Odin the all whore.
That's a good one.
He
is. He's a big old man slut. But
I like how Guy at the end was like, "Oh, well, you know us gods, we always fucking." You know, at one point she's like, "Oh yeah, we fuck all the time." And I was like, "Oh jeez."
All right, but my actual number 3 this week is going to be X-Men number 13. It is a Judgment Day tie-in. This is actually our first foray with the new team. They are jumping in feet first into an event here, and I thought it was pretty cool. I enjoyed watching the different character dynamics. I like seeing what they kind of bring to the team in a big crisis situation. Apparently, Forge is like the MVP because he is like kicking a lot of ass with his little gadgets he pulls out.
He made one big gun with one bullet, and it's like.
Well, then he also like was the one who figured out how to like stop the thing at the end too.
Freeze it. Let's try freezing it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was good though. I love that end. You know, big ending there was fun. But again, I'm not really that on with that whole Axe event yet. I think I still need another issue of the main book.
You and I are on different pages on this one because I am enjoying Axe more than Dark Crisis, but you really are enjoying Dark Crisis a lot more than Axe. So agree to disagree on that.
I'm loving Dark Crisis. So.
But yeah, that's my number 3.
Awesome, good choice. My number 2 is Do a Power Bomb, number 3. Danny Ward Johnson doing the art and the writing on this. It's just fantastic.
Man, even the cover there looks fun as hell. Jeez.
Dude, it is. They fight. Those orangutan brothers fight, dude.
Man, I am really looking forward to this this trade coming out. I'm definitely going to have to pick this up.
And look at this art. It's just so big and over the top. And here, I'll just show you because look, this is so busy, everything going on. But then he switches, and look at that moonsault. Just beautiful, man. Just epic in scope. Look at the ref with his hands over his face. Just awesome stuff, dude. Yeah, I'm having a really good time with this. It's supernatural wrestling is basically what it is. You know?
Hell fucking yeah. I mean, this is the best kind of wrestling.
Yeah. Yeah, Tom, this book is for real. Danny Warren Johnson is just fucking amazing.
I wish I had I don't usually get the issues from the indies, but I wish I had jumped on this early. I feel impatient now waiting for the trade to come.
I think it's a 7-issue miniseries too, so you got a while to wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, Do a Powerbomb number 3, definitely one of the best books of the week for sure. Number 2, T.
My number 2 is Nightwing, number 95.
Awesome choice. A lot of shit happening in this.
Yeah, it seems like we're really coming to a head with everything that Tom Taylor's been doing with this run.
Blockbuster's an asshole. God, he just proves himself.
Oh yeah, like
more and more.
He's done a really good job, like selling just exactly how much of a monster this guy is.
Yeah,
like both
At one
physically
point-
and especially like you know
Yeah.
in terms of what he's willing to do.
Yeah, near the end of the book, Dick confronts him, and he's got 2 kids, one in each hand, saying, "I'll do it." He's just gonna pop them, pop those.
And the narration really sold it there because like Dick tells us he is going to absolutely do it.
Yeah, he is
there's no room for me to banter. There's no room for me to try a trick. He will not hesitate.
Yeah, nice, Andy. I also like the relationships in this book.
Yeah, that's the other big thing. Like all of Bruno Redondo's like brilliant artwork is on display here, but. Okay, so yeah, the big 2 selling points to me for this book are both the really amazing acrobatics being drawn, but also seeing Dick Grayson and his like network of friends and family has been so endearing, and that is on full display here as well. I mean, he's called in all of the reserves, right? Like Batman and the Bat family show up, the Teen Titans show up. Wally solos one of the missions himself because
Signal
Wally's just
shows
fucking
up,
like
Beast
insane.
Boys hanging out.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Was that Harper Row? Was she the one of the ones with Batman? Okay, good,
Yeah.
good. She doesn't get a lot of love, and I'm glad to see her show up in this book.
Yeah, well, that's Tom Taylor, dude.
She's kind of the forgotten. She's the forgotten member of the Bat family. But yeah, I really enjoyed that from Scott Snyder's run. I'm kind of upset that they don't use her more, but
I'm very anxious for the next issue of this, though, because again,
one thing I will
it's been a little
say,
bit slow. It has
the way that Blockbuster did the like little ground pound thing, I do not spoiler alert, I do not understand how that would knock his mask off.
Yeah, I don't know.
But it did, and so you're right. That does create that may not make sense, but it is probably worth it because it creates a great stinger. Things are really going to hit the fan in the next little arc here.
Taylor's been leading up to that because Dick Grayson put himself out there, not as Nightwing, but as the new billionaire Dick Grayson. So, yeah, now it's, I don't know, is it in Blockbuster's court? I mean, what's actually going to happen? If he lets the cat out of the bag, is that going to be Tom Taylor's new status quo moving forward?
Well, I mean,
Dick Grayson is out.
It seems like they kind of like, they've done like a big coup de grace to Blockbuster here, and that is not undone because like they really fucked him over, and they have him like, they have his hand in the cookie jar in like 4 different ways, and they've actually got cops like Maggie Sawyer's in town now, and so they have someone who's actually going to do something about it. So
yeah, dude. So
it definitely seems like we're moving into in-game stuff, and this is like really, this is definitely a really cool wrinkle to add in. Although we still have to do all this stuff with like Heart. Is it Heartbreaker?
Heart something.
The serial killer steals people's hearts. Like we still got to see how that all pans out.
It can't be Heartbreaker.
It's Heart something.
It is Heart
whatever.
Something. And he's okay. That's a cool.
He's a cool character. I feel bad for not remembering his name right now, but
right.
Oh well.
Yeah, excellent choice. I always have fun with Nightwing, even when it's bad. It's still fantastic. But
it has a very high floor. Nightwing. Like the worst issues in this run are still really good.
Yeah. My number 1 Dark Horse this week. It's actually IDW, not Dark Horse. I mean, it was like a Dark Horse, but Mirror War number 8, the finale of the big Star Trek event by the Tiptons. Gavin Smith doing art. I loved everything about this series. This is the end for now. They did kind of leave it open, but man, just awesome, big, huge panels. Cool little Trek moments. This is everything you want in a Star Trek event, and I'm a huge fan of the franchise. And we're never going to get this again. We're never going to get the next generation mirror universe stuff on the screen. This is the only place you're going to get it. And I'm so happy that we are. You know what I mean? That's one of the cool things about comics.
Stuff like this, yeah, is like the best reason to like, this is like the best way to use the comics is to get to explore things that we're never going to see otherwise,
Yeah, dude. I mean, that's why we still have Firefly going on. That's why we still have Buffy and Angel going on. The stories don't stop if you're a fan of the comics. And yeah, so I know it's a little weird, but again, it was a weird week. There were so many good comics, but nothing really blew me out of the water. So I did want to put a focus on, some of my favorite stuff that's been going on at least this year.
Hey, it all looked good to me, man.
Yeah, Mirror War was fucking incredibly good. So
yeah,
that was my number 1. T.
My number 1 is Daredevil number 2, which they're also advertising as Daredevil number 650.
Yeah. It was fun.
So I'm a bit of a latecomer to Chip Zdarsky's run, but I am enjoying the hell out of it, so it's still fresh to me. I really like the way that this is a good way to do an anniversary issue because the bad guy here is someone who has been like interfering in Matt's life to bring tragedy into his life. so that he can like
Make a
bounce
better
back.
person.
Yeah, to bounce back stronger and better, and like be forged in the fire. I think is the quote he used.
Yeah.
To me, this almost seems like a big meta commentary on
Yes.
Daredevil's whole career. Like Goldie, the villain here, he might as well be the writing staff for all of Daredevil's comics.
And I think it's kind of fun that Chip Zdarsky is sort of doing that. He's putting a character. It's like almost putting a face on such an integral aspect of Matt's character. Daredevil is all about guilt. All of these things have happened in a certain way, and I reacted to them in a certain way. And it's that Catholic guilt, that.
Yeah, and that's another thing that really makes this issue work really well is because it really does kind of get to the core of who Matt Murdock is as a person, right? He is a person who has low lows, who has hit rock bottom so many times. Not really that high, but he's ultimately such a resilient person.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, even in this issue, he is talking about, the love of my life on the train. Now let me go marry Elektra.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my God, that's the high point of the book, and that's depressing as fuck,
Yeah. But
great
it
art
does
by
speak to
Daredevil.
Daredevil, right? That he never lets it completely break him, even when it probably should.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's kind of like when Grant Morrison it put himself into the Animal book, but it doesn't jump the shark the way that would if they had tried that.
Right. As far as second issues go, this is a great second issue for a run. It kind of hurt it a little bit that it was a milestone issue, and Chip really couldn't push the story forward. He sort of had to lean into who Daredevil is as a character and the history, because he had to make it open-ended for anybody who wanted to pick it up. The fun add-on stuff was great. There was like a little kid hero Daredevil or whatever, little comic strip in there. It was great. And the Senti wrote a little 4-page book.
But I do think it speaks to the talent of Chip Zdarsky as a writer that he probably was given an assignment with his book. Right? It's going to be a celebration of Daredevil. It's a milestone issue. That being said, the way that he was able to integrate into the story he was telling, and to get Daredevil to the point at the end of the issue where it is time to go join the Fist. He did a remarkably good job. This is about as well as you could possibly hope to do, making it a milestone issue while also keeping it within your own story. And, hats off to Chip.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with you completely. But I am so ready for this to move on. To the Elektra and Daredevil shit. The two Daredevils doing their thing, eventually going up with Punisher. They've teased that a number of times. And again, I get it. It's a 650 filler legacy number.
Well, I will say that
move it already. Move on. Fuck.
I think this milestone issue made me want to dig up some of my old Daredevil comics and give them another read again. And I think that is high praise for one of these walks down memory lane.
Yep. For sure. Man, I didn't mention Hulk. Really, it was the end of that Hulk Thor thing. It was pretty good. Yeah, man. So many good books this week. It's a lot of good books next week too. Thanks to everybody for listening. We're going to do it again tomorrow when we do the preview show. Tune in for that. We're going to talk about all the new books coming out this week. Check out our pals Leroy and Eli over at the Comic Book Bullies. They are going to be recording on this Facebook channel later on tonight, streaming. Definitely check them out. But go to outrightgeekery.com for links to everything that they've got. Their YouTube channel, their Twitter, their stuff, their social media. But all the Outright Geekery social media is up there too. So yeah, go up there, check all that out. We really appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Again, thanks everybody for hanging out. We love y'all. But most of all, what's this? Andy saying bye? Tomorrow, Andy. You know it.
Night, Andy.
Yep. Good night, dude. But yeah, most of all, thanks to this Joker for hanging out with this Joker. I appreciate it.
Good fun.
We are gonna do it again next time.
Same geek time, same geek channel.
Someday Adam's gonna come back. I just know.
I saw him in the shop last week. He actually said he should be able to come back in soon.
Oh, he is gonna come back soon?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, very excited. Just in time to finish.
Or it was a horrible lie. Who knows?